It's hard to talk about him. I was 14 months old when my brother Todd was born, and so I can't remember ever a time that I wasn't without my brother. He was always a part of my life, and I love him and miss him.
Todd taught me chess. I remember beating him with a back row checkmate.
You beat Todd?
Yeah, and I was probably 12. I'm sure I didn't really beat him.
So, you know, he would kind of, but he'd still do always Shakespeare. He'd always go back to the Shakespeare. And that's where he really did love Shakespeare the much. He would have loved to have gotten, you know, movie roles and stuff like that.
I just felt like he was in another universe and went into another dimension when he went into his plays, and he came back out. He was still like in a transition of coming out of that universe when he'd introduce us to his friends. And
I was always proud that I could have a brother as an actor.
You damn well blew our heads off.
It's Rogers. I knew this was a bad idea. You boys weren't with the Rangers then, but I was. Shh.
You hear that?
It's him. We're good as gudgeons out here if we don't get someplace safe.
I remember riding my bike down the street with Todd on my handlebars, really shakily, but somehow I don't think we crashed.
Todd would climb up on the roof in Highland, and he'd jump from the roof down to the very narrow railing, and he'd walk around it. And if I recall correctly, Mom strongly suggested he stop doing it, and I can't blame her now because I remember being a regular spectator and was ready to give it a try when my time came.
Thinking he was so handsome playing soccer outside. He'd always play in his soccer shorts and no shirt, and he'd hit the ball on his knees and his feet, and I'm just thinking, my brother is so cool and he's so handsome.
Do some acting.
Hey Mom, what's up?
Yeah.
still shocked.
Aren't I a
Nobody
young-looking
move,
mom?
nobody
Nobody move. Don't move. Don't move.
We're videotaping. Oh no, just hold the camera still for me.
But I really want you to understand who Todd was, because some of the things about Todd that I think some of us chose to avoid or ignore are still a part of Todd and very important to who he was. So
This kid and just talked to him about the show and acting, and just was so kind to him. And I think there was he had that connection. Todd had great empathy.
We just always wanted Todd to come with us because Todd always played with us. He loved kids, and he loved us. There's some people that are selfish in this world, and they have their demons, but they're also more selfish human beings. I was telling Greg, that wasn't Todd. Todd had his demons, but he was still kind, and he still gave his heart and soul to us, and he loved to play with us, and he loved to talk to us, and he spent quality time with us. I'm looking back and I'm like, oh my gosh, he did. He did. He spent quality time with us. And sometimes I think maybe he did that because he knew Dad wasn't around as much. I don't know.
I love him, and I know you guys love him, and we're all gonna miss him.
In the true depths and darkness, he still had us as number one.
I love him so much, and I looked up to him. He was my older brother, my big brother that I thought the world of.
the thing I'll miss number one about you, Todd, is watching your victories and more importantly, watching when you were happy. It may have been few times, although I feel there were countless. Seeing you happy is what I will miss the most. When Todd was doing good, I was usually doing the same. Seeing him happy was one less worry for me. There were many victories and periods of happiness. Anyone that saw him in a show or shared on a stage with him, they saw them. Anyone he taught and felt and witnessed his happiness. I miss seeing you happy, bro. Your happiness in many ways was my happiness.
I'm going to try to dwell on all the good he did in his life. He was such a good man. He was such a good boy and friend for me. And I love him. I'll always love him. And I'm a woman of faith who believes that I will see him again. And that day is going to be glorious. And we'll catch up on a lot of missed things. And I look forward to that.
But I actually feel differently in the sense that I think Todd was really strong. You know, those who don't suffer with depression don't understand the weight. And I think Todd had a greater weight than at least me, for sure. For that many years, and he made it that far. And I actually feel proud of my brother for that. I feel like, wow, Todd, you were stronger than we knew.
The best way I could describe J. Todd would be bolts of lightning and roaring thunder and dark storm clouds at night. Lighting the world in flashes when he could, and roaring on stage and in life. Your storm is over, Todd, and now as there is just peace and calm, please drift through this universe and run into us once in a while. Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.